Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 4 History 122 announcements. So, first, I just want to talk about the upcoming writing assignment. There is going to be some documents by a man named Yamagata Aritomo. Yamagata was the Japanese man who was key to the establishment of the modern Japanese military. And basically, these writings of his are his kind of analysis of World War I and what he's going to think about is going to happen in the future and about Japan's relationship with China. And it's very complex. There's a lot of tensions in his thought, almost contradictions, you could even say. And this is very important if we want to understand how Japan ends up deciding to invade China. And that's very important because, of course, Japan's invasion of China is going to eventually lead to the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor and the American entry into World War II. And these issues are still very much alive, especially in East Asia, particularly in the relationships between Japan and China. So it's important to kind of understand that, I think. That has to do with violence. We're also going to I have a letter written by Gandhi that you'll have a look at as well, just to see how he's kind of trying to utilize his ideas. That letter has a lot of details, but I really want you to kind of get to the core of what it is he's trying to say. So that's the upcoming writing assignments. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to write those. I could tell some people in this last one were kind of rushed trying to get them in on time, so they didn't answer the questions completely. So make sure that you are able to do that. So I need to also say something about the recent grades. I was very happy because the midterm grades went way up. So on quiz 2, the week 2 quiz, the average was only a 71%. So I was a little concerned about that. But the midterm average was an 82%. So it went up from a low C to a low B, and I was very happy with that. So out of 12 people who took the midterm, 4 got an A, 3 got a B, 2 got C's, and 3 got D's, right? So when I have that many A's and B's, that tells me that the midterm is about the right difficulty level. Now, here's the thing I want to point out. 6 people did the bonus, right? And the bonus was simply filling out that week 3 study guide and submitting it by Friday, 11:59 p.m. Of those people, 2 earned A's, 3 earned B's, 1 earned a C, and none earned a D, right? So here's the thing that I think is interesting. First of all, 4 people got an A. Only 2 of them actually did the study guide. If you're getting A's without doing the study guide, that is fine. That's why I don't require that people do the study guide, except for that first time, just to show people that, this does help. But if you're able to get an A without doing the study guide, that's fine. And I've had students who have been able to do that before. So that's not a concern to me. You get an A without doing a study guide, that's great. But I do want to note that all 3 of the B's were from people who did the bonus, right? All 3 people who got B's were people who did the bonus. And like I said, half the A's still came from people who did that. So, history might not be your thing. It may not be a particularly easy subject for you, but you can see that by doing the bonus assignment here, right, by actually filling out the study guide, that was key to getting a better grade, right? Only one of the people who did the study guide earned a C. None of them earned D's. Most earned an A or a B. So if you're one of those people who got a C or a D and you didn't do the study guide, do the study guide if you want to earn a higher grade, right? Now, I'm going to announce a second bonus opportunity. Basically, in this bonus opportunity, you will fill out the study guide for week 4, submit it by Friday, 11:59 p.m. If you do that, you'll get plus 10 bonus. It's the same thing. And we're going to do the same thing for week 5. So for week 4 and week 5, if you fill out the study guide, get it up there by 11:59 p.m. on the respective week, then you'll get plus 10 bonus. Now, here's the thing. If you do both, you got to do both, and your final is higher than your midterm, right? So if you got an A on the final and a B on the midterm, because it's cumulative, I will give you enough bonus to make your midterm equal to the final, right? So let me just say that again. If you do the bonus for 4 and 5, you assignment, not only we get those bonus points, if your final percentage grade is higher than the midterm grade, then I will give you enough bonus points to make them both equal. I won't lower the final if you do worse on the final than you did on the midterm. But if you do better, you can get there. So if you're one of those students who got a D and you're like, wow, I can't have a D in this class, well, here's how you fix that problem. Right, here's how you can fix that problem, because you can earn a lot of points this way, really raise your grade. And that's one reason I make these things cumulative, because I can say as an instructor, well, the student had trouble with those first couple of weeks, but wow, look how they did on the final. And that was cumulative. So clearly it's okay for them to earn this grade. But you got to fill out the study guides, right, by the respective Friday. So this Friday for the week 4 study guide, and the next Friday for the week 5 study guide. So I want to invite you, take for a second and just think, what grade do you need or what grade do you want, right? Some of you might be on probation, some of you, and so you need to raise your grade. There's a lot of reasons why some of you are trying to get a scholarship back. And my guess is you need at least a B. And if you look at that, I posted the post-midterm grade. If you don't have a B, you got to figure out, okay, what am I going to do to get a B, right? If your grade is where you want it, that's fine. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. If your grade's not where you want it to be, you have to change, right? If you keep doing the same thing, you can't expect different results. You have to fundamentally change what you're doing, right? And if you're not sure what to do, then I'm happy to talk with you. Email me. Be happy to discuss your grade, how to improve. Like I say, a big thing is doing the study guide. However, if you're like, I can't change, I'm taking 3 classes and working 40 hours a week, you need to talk to your advisor, registrar, and the registrar about dropping the class, bluntly speaking, right? You don't want to be in a situation where you paid for the class and then you fail it, right? If you've already paid for the class and you can't get your money back, at least drop it so you don't fail it, if you're in that bad of a situation, right? And that's just something, you got to be realistic about. I've had advisees who have taken a summer class, failed the summer class, and so they spent money to fail to hurt themselves. Much better just to drop it. But that's something you have to, you want to talk to me about it, see how you're actually doing. Then based on what I say, talk to your advisor, talk about the registrar. But we have to be realistic about this. So I've given you the tools. I've given you the opportunities. If you take the time, you should be able to raise your grade. If you don't have the time, you need to think about dropping. So upcoming quiz this week is just a normal quiz. It'll be a 30-question quiz, each question worth 3 points, due by 11:59 p.m. Sunday, only on the week 4 material. There are a few things I need to say about the upcoming videos. One is called like Chinese Civil War and Revolutions, and it starts off with it's from this feature history guy. I love feature history. I think he does a good job. I think he's funny. But he makes a joke here that I need to kind of explain a little bit, because he starts off saying, I will not make a racist stereotype joke about Chinese people. And the whole thing, they show like an image of a Chinese person, and someone may look at that and say, wow, that's an offensive image. But the image is actually from a book by Chinese American comic artist. It's a graphic novel comic book named Gene Yong. And the book is criticizing racism against Chinese people. So you may at first say like, wow, that's really a weird way to start the video. I have to stress and that's why I'm explaining this. This is actually criticizing racism against Chinese people. It's not meant to encourage it. But it's easy to miss that if you have not read American-Born Chinese. So I needed to explain that, because I can't edit that video, right? It's just up there. So again, that's not an anti-Chinese video. That's anti-Chinese racism. It's very different. One other big thing I have to emphasize, and I have this in the link, but if you're using the playlist, you may not notice this. There is a video that you should watch called Mutiny. It's a 55-minute or so documentary. I don't want you to watch the whole thing. Again, I can't edit the videos on YouTube. If I post a YouTube video, right, I just posted the video. I can't edit it. I only want you to watch from the 3rd minute to the 11th minute. It's like 8 minutes. That's all I want you to watch. I don't want you to watch the whole 55-minute documentary for the class. You can watch it. It's really a good documentary. But I'm only going to have questions about minutes 3 to 8. Or I'm sorry, 3 to 11. So it's a total of 8 minutes, but it's 3 to 11. And I actually put that in the link. It says, only watch this much of the video, minute 3 to minute 11. Don't need to watch the whole video. Very disturbing video, I think, but I think it's also important for us to understand the difficulties of World War I. Now, also what makes these videos a little bit more complex this week is that there's several of them that will say something like, how did World War I impact the South, or the commemoration question, or something like that. Those are not links to YouTube videos. Those are links to somewhere else. And then you'll watch the video on that other link. It's basically to the South Carolina PBS. So it's not on the playlist. right? Because I can only put YouTube videos on the YouTube playlist. So you have to watch that through Blackboard, and it won't come up in a YouTube player, right? And I wanted to include those because those are based off of a conference that took place at Lander University about World War I and its effect on the South and its effect on Greenwood. And I want us to have a look at things like that to see how international events can impact the South and Greenwood and so forth, right? We're part of this global world. Another important issue is the commemoration question. That's one of the videos, and that talks about this kind of local history and how things, ways we commemorate war can have political repercussions even to this day. And so that's something I think is important for people to know. So the only other things I have to emphasize, of course, is the password. Make sure to send it to me by 11:59 p.m. Tuesday, right? Send me the password by 11:59 p.m. Tuesday. The password is beetle, like the bug. It's a beetle. And you'll understand why I'm making that reference once you watch the Shaka Zulu video, right? So it's a reference to something that takes place in the Shaka Zulu video. And again, that password is beetle. So if you have any questions, feel free always to email me. Good luck and have a good day.